It's such a pleasure to have someone from Preston, Birmingham, our close neighbours in Tottenham, and from the nation of Wales with us tonight. And of course, Holly from Bristol. Because I feel as though I should belatedly welcome you to where we are, which is Holborn and St Pancras, which is an unrepresented constituency in Parliament. And why do I say that? Because our Member of Parliament, who happens to be the Prime Minister, does not represent the majority of people in this constituency. Instead, he represents his billionaire donors, their corporate interests, and, it would appear, the genocidal state of Israel. The reality is that the vast, vast majority of us in this locality support none of those three things. And we showed that even while Keir Starmer was lying to us about what he would do in government. But for those of us who have lived here and who have had to endure him for over 10 years, we knew they were lies, because we know every time his lips move, he is lying. But the reality is that the community of Camden ran an extraordinary campaign against Keir Starmer, and many of those people are here today. We knocked on over 50,000 doors, and extraordinarily, we had people say to us, well, who is our MP? He was running for Prime Minister, and there were people in his own constituency who'd never heard of him. We even had the experience when I knocked on doors of people saying to me, what are you doing at my door? They said, I don't know who my MP is. I don't know who my councillors are. I've never seen them. And we raised just a very simple question with them. Don't you think that we should be represented by people from our community who are talking amongst the community all of the time? And that's why we're at your door. And that seemed revolutionary to them, extraordinarily. But what we have done out of that campaign, again with a number of people who are here tonight, is we've created something called the Camden People's Alliance locally. And I'm able to tell you tonight that in Camden, of the 50,000 who have signed up, we have between 5,000 and 6,000 of them. And Camden People's Alliance wants to take forward the momentum of the election, wants to take forward the principles and values that inspired the idea of creating a new, what I like to call, movement party. And next week, we will be formally launching the Camden People's Alliance. So please join us on the 12th, where Tariq again will be speaking, where we will have a range of brilliant local speakers. And please, there is a table outside of the CPA. Consider signing up to our local initiatives, which include initiatives around housing, around the NHS. We are also going to make up for the democratic deficit, we as a community are going to start holding surgeries for other people in this community who need support and assistance that they are not getting from their elected representatives. So please join us and consider being a candidate for the local elections in May, where we're going to have community hustings to identify our candidates so that they are of our community and they will be accountable to our community. Because, crucially, and this relates to some of the comments that have been made about Jeremy, about Zara, let us not fall into the trap that the mainstream media are so desperate for us to fall into. Let us not engage in the politics of personality. This movement party is not about Jeremy, or about Zara. It's about all of us, or it's about nothing. And with that in mind, I want to just make a few suggestions about things that we need to think about as we build this movement party. First of all, there is a very real danger, and I know this from experience, having spent 7.5 years as a member of parliament in South Africa, the danger of what I describe as parliamentarianism. Because when you land up in those places, you come to believe that they are the center of the universe. They are not. Our communities are the centers of our universe. And as Nelson Mandela told us when we were first elected, the moment you think that you are more important than the people who sent you here, than the people who you are here to serve, than the people who at the end of the day pay your salary, that is the moment at which you are of no value to those people, you're of no value to this parliament, you're of no value to this movement, and you're of no value to this country. So what we need to do is we need to create a movement party that, first of all, is going to take back the streets from that muppet who claims to represent us in this constituency, who believes that he has the right to tell us what we can and cannot think politically, what we can and cannot say politically, what signs we can and cannot hold up on our streets. But it is not only about taking back the streets. It is also about contesting for power in those pompous palaces of power, like Parliament and our council chambers. And we need to combine those two things, because if those in those pompous palaces forget why they are there and who they are there to represent, they will be of no value to us. So what we need to do is we need to create a new politics, a different politics. We don't just want to create another party for career politicians. They can go and do that in all of the already established parties. And to do that, as Selma so eloquently said, we have to ensure in this process of the creation of this new movement party and in everything it does, that democracy, transparency, and accountability are at the forefront. And if they are not, it is up to all of us to demand that they are there. It is not for us to look to people to lead us. When we look for leaders, pick up a mirror, because it is us who need to lead this process if it is going to lead to a new and different politics. And as we do this, and the last few months have been difficult, I found that personally so, because for reasons that I still can't fathom, I was arbitrarily asked to be one of the three signatories on the bloody bank account. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. When I nonchalantly said, okay, little did I know. But even throughout this ridiculous quagmire, we cannot forget, and we as the left have to remember this more than any other political grouping. There is far, far more that unites us than divides us. And it has never, never been more important that we remember that. If we think Britain is a mess, let's just look at the rest of the world. But there is hope. There is hope in what is happening in New York City today. There is hope in that island overwhelmingly elected a proud anti-Zionist as its president. There is hope in the reality, as we learned in South Africa, that we are the many and they are the few.